Hi, I'm Dr. Jeremy Heyman, naturopathic doctor here at Cornerstone Naturopathic. And I know in my first video I mentioned that my upcoming videos are going to be talking about specific anti-cancer foods, their benefits, how they work, how you can implement them into your diet, and how much of everything to consume on a regular basis with realistic. I'm going to sidestep that a little bit today. Before I get into the anti-cancer foods, it's really important actually to discuss a little bit of information on research. So don't go turning the video off yet. I know research is boring. I hope I haven't scared you away. But I have the fortune every week to be able to dedicate a lot of my hours to that of research. So when it comes to cancer, I'm able to sit and really focus and hone in on what the new trends are, what the past trends are, what works, what doesn't, what's the information saying about conventional care, integrative care, the combined care. And a lot of the research as well that I'm able to do is on nutrition, nutritional medicine, and how that impacts and translates in the scope of cancer. So yesterday I spent a good portion of my day looking into garlic and what the research is now showing with garlic. And ultimately, research is saying, garlic may not be as beneficial from a cancer perspective as we once thought. Or I'll rephrase that. Past research has not verified that garlic has been overly beneficial in the cancer realm when it comes to treating cancer or preventing cancer. And current research is sort of reconfirming that, although there are studies out there sort of spread out throughout the research that actually says there are some good benefits to it. So when you look at a paper like that or research like that or sort of an overall review like that, you're going to think, well, geez, garlic isn't healthy in terms of its benefit when it comes to cancer, so it's not as important for me to include on my day-to-day diet. We can't forget that as human beings and people, sometimes with diseases, that is, yes, the disease that we need to focus on and help to remedy that. But as importantly, when it comes to cancer, a holistic approach also needs to be kind of really high on the list. So that just means that we need to remember that the majority of our cells are healthy. Someone that's diagnosed with cancer and dealing with the cancer, still the majority of your cells are healthy, and it's as important to focus on those healthy cells and that part of your healthy self as it is to focus on the treatment of the cancer itself. So when it comes to garlic, for example, I would still use it. I would still, consume it on a regular basis because there are so many other health benefits to garlic, not necessarily directly related to how it can kill a cancer cell in a human body, but does have great benefit overall in the short and long term. I put out a pocket guide yesterday, or posted a pocket guide yesterday on my Facebook page, naturopathiccancer.ca. And on that pocket guide, I uploaded it from PubMed, a study that was done years ago, and it's fantastic. It lists but a dozen foods or so that are the top anti-cancer foods based on the research that was done there. And funny enough, garlic was on there, but turmeric, green tea, all sorts of really good, well-known anti-cancer foods. And there's a few foods on there that if some people looked at them, they would say, okay, well, this pocket guide says consume it at this amount every day, so I will start to do that. But before you make those sort of leaps, we need to think about the details and really sort of judge and question what the research is saying. So on that pocket guide, it said red wine, so consume 1 glass of red wine a day. Now, if you're not a red wine drinker already, and you start to drink red wine, then the research actually is showing that doing so may not be quite as beneficial for an overall health perspective, but also when it comes to an anti-cancer approach. Those people that have been drinking red wine, let's say a glass a day for the past number of years, for example, then they actually are able to see the protective benefit when it comes to the focus on cancer. So adding red wine may not necessarily be the greatest thing in some people's cases. Or resveratrol obviously was the main constituent in those research papers, but there are other sources of resveratrol. So is it the red wine? Is it the resveratrol? There's always questions. Dried cranberries was another one. And dried cranberries, cranberries are a great food when they're dried. The natural sugars are concentrated, so they're very dense in terms of the sugar content and the calories. I would prefer not to prescribe half a cup of dried cranberries to a patient, like a cancer patient, I'd rather say, are there other foods or interventions that are less calorically dense that may provide a more powerful anti-cancer protection or benefit. So I'd want to look at that. And the third one was soy. So soy is very hot and controversial as far as a topic in medicine these days. And in some scopes of health and intervention, soy may not actually be sort of a go-to in terms of being a healthy intervention. So there may be some drawbacks to it. So it may actually provide detriment. When it comes to cancer specifically, there are constituents in there that can actually help to block pathways, the cancer progression pathways, so slow the progression, slow the growth of cancer, and also in the preventative scope as well, there's some benefit there. But even still, before you run out and start consuming, half a cup or a couple cups of soy a day, what about the source and the quality of the soy? So you want to look at like non-GMO, organic. Is fermented soy, is that as important or not as important? So these are all things you need to consider. So when it comes to the research, again, like I said, we need to translate. We need to take that research and we need to translate it into real life before just kind of taking things at face value and blindly and just either introducing something or taking something away just because something or somebody on social media said, yes, we need to do this, or no, we need to not do this. So with my upcoming posts, I'm going to be as unbiased as possible in terms of foods, information on foods that I provide you. I'm going to give you the research. This is what the research says. This is why the research says it. This is how it potentially can be implemented from a realistic perspective. And this is a therapeutic value that it can provide to you based on that. So my upcoming posts, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite foods, which is broccoli sprouts. You may have kind of noticed a hint of excitement on my last video of broccoli sprouts. So when I walk into a grocery store, this is one of the most exciting things that I can see in a grocery store. So it really excites me when I can find an organic broccoli sprout or a clamshell of organic broccoli sprout. So I'm going to be talking about that on my next video. So look out for that. Any questions about this video at all, or concerns or comments, please post them below the video here, and I look forward to our next post on specific anti-cancer foods coming up. Thanks.